Hi, my Candy Beauty fam. So today we are here with an icon, a fashion girly herself, mommy of three, founder of KNC Beauty. And if I'm forgetting something, I promise you we will touch on it today. But we would like to welcome Kristen Noel Crawley to the My Candy Beauty fam. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. That was an amazing introduction.
Thank you. I tried. Sometimes I get nervous with the intros. Less
that
so
was
the
great.
interview,
I was like, okay.
more the intros. So I don't want to miss anything, you know?
No, it was.
She does it all, clearly. And she's gorge.
Thank you.
So
are you.
thank you. So we're going to dive right
Let's
in.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ready.
So I said you were a founder. So
Yes.
you launched KNC Beauty as really a truly innovative, social first skincare brand. So this is kind of like a 2 to 3 pronged question, but can you take us back to the beginning? Like, what was the spark that inspired you to start KNC Beauty? And was there a particular moment, experience, or gap in the market that made you say, like, I really need to create this, now is the time?
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary in August. And basically, I also do a lot of influencer work. So I was working with Dior Beauty a lot at the time. I was so fortunate to go on a brand trip to Tokyo.
Oh, cool.
And it was amazing. And I don't know if you've ever been to Japan, but
I have not. It's on the bucket list.
You have to go. It's incredible. So they have this store called Don Quixote, which is like the Target of Japan, and they have probably like 15 beauty rows, right? So I go in there and I'm just like perusing through and I see lip masks. Mind you, everything's in Japanese, but I see like the photos and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And being from Chicago, my lips in the wintertime would get severely chapped no matter what I did.
I feel you.
They would
I'm a
get,
dry
like-
skin girly, so I get it.
They, like in the
breakage.
corners.
Yes.
Oh, and it was
God, it's the
so
worst.
it was so like it was actually like painful. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. I turned it around and there was like 50 ingredients on the list. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I'm just gonna try this product. When I get back to the States, I'm gonna look for a natural alternative. Love the product. When I got back, there were no natural, like low ingredient alternatives. So, the light bulb kind of went off like, maybe I should make my own. And so for a while, I just now this was probably 12 years. So it took me about 2 years to launch. I had to just do my research, look online. I was scrolling through Alibaba and I was hitting up manufacturers that did this, but would let me customize the ingredients, which a lot of factories wouldn't let me do. So I finally found one. And then I ended up releasing my product and it kind of just snowballed from there. But it definitely was seeing a gap in the market, something that I would want to use myself and something that I feel like was missing.
That's cool because, honestly, 9 out of 10 times, whatever we want, other people are probably going to want it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But you just, had that drive and fire to just take that actual next step
and
create
it's
it.
funny because I almost didn't because 3 months before I was about to launch, because it took me a while, and 3 months before I was about to launch, this other mask brand had come out with lip mask, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And I was like, I can't release mine because it's gonna look like a copycat. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends about it, and this is why I say it's so important to have supportive friends and mentors in your space, because this woman who I really admire as a businesswoman, she was like, girl, do it. Who cares, And that kind of gave me the confidence to do it, because I was going to shelf it. I can't be, looking like copycat or whatever. And, but yeah, I'm so glad I did it and listened to her. And here I am today.
I mean, there's space for everything. My mom, my best friend, and I run everything by her, and she's like, don't let someone else stop you from doing something.
Absolutely. And I was like, the product looks different ingredients, and it was kind of they had so many masks that it wasn't their hero product. This was my hero product. So I was like, okay, I took that leap of faith, and I'm really happy I did.
And that flows seamlessly into the next thing I want to ask you. So looking back, obviously, at the woman who started KNC Beauty and the woman you are today, so how have your ideas of success and impact evolved over that time?
I think my ideas of success were very different when I started. I didn't start my brand with like the traditional, 5-year plan or whatever. I was just like, I just want to put this product out there, and then as the brand took shape, my ideas and my accomplishments that I had in my mind, my goals took shape as well. For me, it's about creating products and a community that I can feel proud of. I've always kind of been on the intersection of skincare and like streetwear. So we've done a lot of things with like Complex Con. Like we were the first beauty brand to show at Complex Con. We were the first skincare brand to have a collaboration with Bape. Like these are all, these are all things that I like. Me as a person, I wanted to just like accomplish, and I was able to do that through my brand. So, there's a lot of more things that I want to do. It just kind of like just getting started. And I think that in the beauty and skincare landscape, it's hard because you'll see like some brands that will come out and in 3 years they're sold for $1 billion or like 500 million. You're like, what am I doing wrong?
I mean, even look at like Rhode.
You're like, no, but you know what? The thing is like with Rhode, it was so innovative and they had so many like amazing moments, and like I get it, but then you're also like, damn, like why is that not happening for me? So a part of it is also like not comparing yourself. And just doing things in your own time. So like, yeah, my brand's 10 years old. We only have 12 products. I'm okay with that. I just have had to learn to not compare myself to others because I don't know their struggles. I don't know their team. I don't know their backing. I do, but like I don't. And it's not comparable, So I just like stay in my own lane, do my own thing. And I know that, my time will come.
And I think sometimes the smaller the portfolio, the better. Because you can really focus and hone in on certain things.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, my thing is also, like, I want to have, like, just a solid lineup. Like, products that everyone loves and just are great. And even if I don't release a product for, like, 2 years, like, that's okay with me. But it is kind of discouraging when you see a brand that like literally every other week they have a new eyeshadow palette or like, lip combo or something. I just have to realize like that's not my story.
Yeah, that's important. And taking it back to you saying that you work with Complex Con and Complex Con.
Yeah.
I was like, make sure I'm saying that correctly. Complex Con and Bape. What has been so far your most surreal moment as a founder where you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm really doing this? Honestly,
it was when I won the Allure Best of Beauty for Best Eye Mask. It was in 2020, and this is the funny thing. So, I've had PR for probably like the past like half of my journey with KNC Beauty. So the PR had submitted me for the Allure Best of Beauty Awards, but like in my mind, I'm like, I'm a small founder. It's a pay to play thing. Like, like whatever. Like I didn't even know that they had submitted me, which is funny.
Okay.
So
sometimes that's the best though.
Right. So I'm on Instagram and I see that the Allure Best of Beauty Awards have come out. And so I was like, let me just go see what they talk about,
Yeah.
So I go on the web. Right. So I go on the web. I'm like, let me see what they talk about. So I go on the website and I see my mask as best eye mask. And I literally started like crying. And I mean, I am a crier. I'm a Cancer, so I do be crying.
That's the water. It's the water.
Like, yeah, I haven't like it's more from an emotional standpoint, So like from business working standpoint, I'd never done that before, and I was just like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of the community that I built. I'm so proud of like my supporters and like the brand supporters for making this happen. And that I think was the most like impactful because it was a surprise and because it was like just that recognition from the industry, like the industry leaders and tastemakers to be like, oh, like your mask is the best.
Like sometimes getting that outside recognition is sometimes what you need.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, we don't really need it and it doesn't really matter. But when you do get it, it's like
I'm doing something right.
Yeah, period.
Because I feel like when you start something and create something, it feels so insular at first. And you're like, what I have, is it really like, do the people really
is it
want
really
it?
that?
Yeah,
Like, are we doing this?
Is it what I think
like,
it is? But
yeah,
then it's like,
but the thing is like you're like, I know that this is it. But is everyone else going to catch on? You know, like we were the first, like not only does the mask work really well, but we were the first company ever to make a custom shaped eye mask. Everything was just like the half crescent before, you know? And for me, it was like thinking about from a marketing standpoint, I can't afford to like spend all these marketing dollars, pay people to post. So how am I going to get people to post organically? Oh, let's make it a cool custom shape. And that was just like my thought process behind it. And it ended up just being so viral.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's like such a fun and innovative way to think about it too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So obviously, look, we're Black women in beauty, right? So we gotta get into it. So, you know, like beauty standards have obviously historically excluded Black women and women of color. So with KNC Beauty and just your broader platform in general, how do you work to intentionally challenge those norms, and what do you wish more beauty brands understood about true inclusivity and representation?
I mean, it's such a loaded question. And, but I would say that like my community is mostly Black women. So I always want to be thoughtful of that. You know, like for me, I'm like, I feel like Black women are the most beautiful women on earth. So I'm always going to use them in my campaign.
That
yes,
part.
like your skin right now is flawless. Like all I'm thinking about is like, I wish I had your
sweat.
skin. Yeah, right? It's the sweat here in New York. I'm like, I wish I had your skin. And so like I've just always been enamored with Black beauty. So it's not even a second thought of like, should I use a Black model? It's like, should I use a white model? You know, right? It's like,
I like that.
It's like that. I'm like, should I throw her in? Like, I'll throw one in here and there. You know, like I'll throw a little cute white girl in here and there, just to like mix it up a little bit. Because I always say KNC is for everyone. But at the end of the day, I'm a Black woman. My most of my community are Black women, and I always want to uplift and you know, admire them. So it's never even really been a thought like diversity for me, because it's flipped for me. It's like, oh, maybe I should include a white girl. Maybe I should, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, should I? You know, but like I'm like, I want my girls on the thing. Like I had like Raven Tracy, for example, do a campaign for me once. I had Sydney Christine. And these are just girls that I know and have personal relationships with that I think are so stunning. And I'm like, yeah, like they would be the perfect models, you know? So yeah, for me, it was just like, it was never even a thought. But that's why it's so important to have Black voices in spaces of like big companies, of like, you know, CEOs of all these things, because they can advocate for us and they can be like,
and it's very clear when there isn't. Like when certain things happen, or you see certain things that are put out there, whether it's campaign, foundation shade,
like,
shade range, you're like, wait a minute. They're clearly,
but it's also hard. It's not like some companies I feel like will be like, oh, we're just going to put one in there. It's like me putting the one white girl in the campaign. It's like not really doing anything. It's just like, okay, here she is. You know, like, and so I feel that's
even worse.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I'd rather you just not put us in than
but
just
imagine
throwing
like
a
you're
token.
like a Black woman at like, you know, on the marketing team for like Sephora or Ulta, and you're the only one, and you're trying to speak up for your community, and everyone else is like, I don't see it, like, okay, like you have to fight for it, but then it's also like you want to keep your job, you know? So it's like, it's hard, like we need multiple people, like not just one, you know? So
yeah. So based on what you're saying so far, it seems like you're very hands-on with your brand.
Absolutely.
And
Maybe a little too hands-on.
Never too hands-on. And it really kind of aligns to who you are, your aesthetic, what you love, what you like as well. So because I feel like there's such like a cool and like it girl factor to KNC Beauty, like from the packaging, partnerships, all the things what you just shared. So how do you kind of balance that trend for those trend forward aesthetics with staying authentic to your personal style and values?
I think balancing comes into play of like not following the trends. Like there's so many things that, you know, like my factories will approach me with like, hey, do you want to do lip tints? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I'm like, I've already seen like 10 other brands do it. You know, like I want to be innovative. I want to be, you know, like I want to start my own thing. So it's really just like staying true to myself. And the thing with KNC is like, I have a hand in all of the branding, all of the creative, everything. So it really is the perfect kind of representation of myself. So it's very easy for me to stay true to the brand and the brand identity and not follow the trends because I myself do not really follow the trends.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes hand in hand.
And how do you stay inspired? You know, like, how do you know?
Staying off the internet.
Staying
like,
off the internet?
Yes, staying off the internet. Like, you know, because we're consuming so much content that it will. Like, I remember when the old money thing, like, remember like a year or two ago, like everything was old money.
Oh, quiet
old money,
wealth.
quiet
Like
luxury.
that whole thing. Oh, yeah.
Quiet luxury.
Quiet luxury.
Yes. And I was just like, this is not me. Like, even like right now, like, yeah, I look like.
It gives though.
It gives that a little bit.
I like looking at the screen, I'm like, it gives that.
It does give that a little bit, but I got a little swag. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be all
You're like, I do the
out.
streetwear too.
Right. Like, you know, like earlier I had on my Manolo Timbs and like da-da-da. Like, I have to have a little swag.
I was looking at your Instagram and you had on this really cute like red latex outfit. I'm pretty sure
with
it was
the braids.
Yes.
Oh no! Or with said ebony on it.
Yes.
That was Moa Lola.
Like, love that down.
Yeah, that's my girl from
like,
the UK. Like she's like the hottest. I feel like she's Nigerian. She's like the most talented fashion designer at the moment. Black woman, like amazing, and. That thing was really hard to put on, but it was a moment. Yeah, it was, and I actually was gonna wear that to the 15% pledge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was like cold in LA, so I ended up going with like my other girlfriend, Sammy Miro, who's also a Black woman designer, and but yeah, like I just be trying to stay away from what other people are doing. You know, that's why I say like stay off the internet and just kind of like. You know, like for the summer, for example, I'm building my mood board on like what I want my summer style to be. This is a little more conservative. I look like I might be going to the Hamptons after this, but it's very hot outside and I don't live here, so I had to kind of, you know.
See, but I love that you have a mood board. You're making me be like, I need to get up on my game
because
look at this. I'm just like, I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, what is it going to be today?
You have to because also, and because I'm doing a lot of traveling, right? So I have spring, summer.
Oh,
I've got all of my pieces.
You have your own Pinterest.
Yeah, I've got all of my pieces. Like, this is what I need to update it.
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, I just have like so much stuff in my closet. I'll forget things, you know?
I feel. Yeah. So like going into fashion too, like again, you are a fashion girly, right? And like you've had your partnerships with Gucci and Vuitton. So you're really kind
Dior and Chanel.
Okay, Dior, Chanel, y'all. Come on now. So you're really kind of considered a modern style icon. So
thank you.
What role do you think fashion has played in the way people receive your work in beauty too? Because it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I feel like people love me for my fashion. You know, like I think above everything, they love to see my looks. They love to see my pieces. So I always try to incorporate that, you know, like, and I also have like a very kind of like elevated street style. So when I was younger, I was wearing a lot of sneakers, a lot of like, you know, casual streetwear stuff, but still elevated. Now, like I'm going, you know, I'll be 40 in a few years.
What?
So I'm like,
okay, you look.
I'm
not
turning
gonna curse,
39.
but I was like, you look freaking phenomenal.
You. I'm turning 39 next month.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, I kind of gotta
black don't brag. What?
I kind of gotta like, you know, turn it up a notch. You know, like old me would have been wearing sneakers with this. I'm wearing like a little strappy sandal.
When I saw Mom of Three, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was like, she
crazy,
looks so young.
I'm a 15-year-old.
Oh wow.
I know. My friend was like, you have to stop saying that. It's aging you.
That's wild. And you have like such youthful energy too.
Oh, thank you.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we're very blessed. There are so many terrible things going on in the world. Like, you have to, like, of course there's bad times, there's good times, but like we have to really look at the bigger picture. Like, we're healthy, we're blessed, we're beautiful, like, we're, you know, trosing about New York City, like, you know, like
doing the things.
Yeah. I didn't even get my passport until I was like 22 years old.
Really?
Like, I'm from a small town. Like, I just would have never imagined that, you know, I went to Shanghai last month for like 3 days. Like, who does that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I'm very
That's
blessed
amazing.
in my life, and
Yeah.
I always, like, I'm
was it for work?
very great.
Business?
Yeah, it was for
Okay,
work.
cool.
Yeah, it was for the watch brand Audemars Piguet.
Okay.
But I'm
Cool.
very grateful for my life, and I always want to show gratitude in my interactions with people and my attitude and everything.
We love it. Like, I'm like, we're falling in love here at My KNC Beauty. She's amazing. So you move seamlessly through spaces, like we're saying, luxury fashion, streetwear, skincare, beauty, and just cultural commentary. So how important is it for you to show that Black women can actually exist across all of these spaces with ease and ownership, and we don't have to be boxed in?
I think it's like the most important thing. And I had a lot of imposter syndrome when I was like coming up in the game, I would say. It was never planned. It was just kind of like the atmosphere that I was in. And I was one of the only Black women in those spaces. Like, mind you, like, I've been going to, like, you know, Paris Fashion Week, for example, for like almost 15 years. It was me and Naomi. That was the only other Black woman in the space, you know?
Yeah.
And shout out to Naomi Campbell.
Period. Naomi,
But yeah,
you
right.
should come
But I'm like,
here.
oh, she's supposed to be here. Like, what am I doing here? You know? And there was definitely like a wave of insecurity for many years. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, there were a lot of times where I was told no to. There are a lot of times where I was denied access to certain places, and it doesn't feel great, you know?
Yeah.
But I kind of I had no choice but to keep it pushing. And like, my whole thing was like, okay, they're going to regret that. You know,
Haters be your motivators,
right?
for
And you
sure.
can either use negativity as like your downfall or as your determination. And for me, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some points where I'm a super emotional person, so there were some days where I would feel really bad about myself, and I would feel like, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here. But then there were other days where I'm like, fuck them. You know? Like,
You're like, I'm that girl.
right.
And if you guys don't see that I'm that
and
girl
it's like,
yet,
you know
I'm
what? Like, I don't come from money. I don't have a famous last name. But like, why do they get to do it? And they're not even cool. Like, they're not even like, they're not even it.
Yeah.
But I'm it. I just don't have that, like, that, you know? So I was just like, psh, whatever. And I just it was just that determination that like kept it going. And, you know, like, now I'm in front row sitting right next to these girls that, you know, like, back then wouldn't even say hi to me. And now I'm just like, hey.
So did you start in, like, where did you get your start? Did you always like kind of see this as your path?
I mean, no. It definitely evolved. Like, I went to college. It wasn't really for me. School was never for me. I'm just like not like a book learner. I started modeling when I was very young, and I moved to LA with $250 and like 2 suitcases, and I really needed money. So I was like a waitress, and I was looking on Craigslist, and I saw an ad for like an underwear model, and it was like $250, or it was like $200, something like $100 for the day, which was like a few hours, plus all the underwear that you
Hey, we
I
always
was like,
need more
free
underwear.
panties? Yes. And so I answered the ad. I go to the casting. Guess what company it's for?
What company?
American Apparel.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this is back in like 2008, 2009, at the height of all of that. So I went in. They loved me. I was literally like, hold on, I got to show you a picture. They loved me so much that I was on billboards within like 6 months. mind you, the pay was still terrible, but that got me seen. You know what I mean? So like,
sometimes visibility.
oh, absolutely. Like this is in Harlem.
Oh wow.
Can you guys see that? This is in Harlem, 2008, September 3rd, 2008.
Oh wow.
And I've had like many more, you know, like this is August 16th, 2014.
Wow.
That was in Soho. You know, so it got me like, it ended up getting me kind of like, and that's why I tell people, like everybody, when I see people talking like on TikTok or whatever nowadays, they're like, don't do anything for no money, like da da da. I did so much for no money. Like when I was going to Tokyo with Dior, I was paying out of pocket for a flight, and I was staying with my girlfriend that did the PR for Dior Beauty. Like I had to put in a lot of sweat equity and physical money to be in these spaces. So that's
you have to invest in yourself.
You have to invest in yourself, and you also have to think about, like, let's be realistic here. Like, you know, the people that I'm going to meet on this trip, they might, you know, obviously I'm going to make a good impression, and they're going to invite me back. And next time they might pay for my flight and my hotel, and they might pay me, you know, but I had to, and that was years of doing that. And that was years of like investing into these brands and making my own content with my own pieces because I wanted to, like, you know, be in that space. So yeah, it's the natural evolution. It was never a plan. It just kind of was like, oh, I want to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember my girlfriend, Shiona, she's like a huge stylist now. And we had talked once, and she was like, oh, I want to help you, you know, this is like years and years ago. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to work with Prada and Miu Miu and Louis Vuitton and da-da-da. And she's like, girl, what are you talking about? And then it's so funny, like years later, she hit me up. She's like, remember, I think I had got like a magazine cover, and I was wearing like full Miu Miu or something. She's like, girl, remember when we had that lunch and you were like, I want to wear the Prada and Miu Miu? And I was like, you're insane. And I was like, I don't even remember that. But the fact that that like
it's
I
happening,
did,
happened.
It wasn't like I had a huge manifestation board, and I was like, you know, but it was in my mind. And that's why I always tell people, like, you don't have to have your plan completely set because your plan might change. You just have to, like,
and you gotta shoot big, and you gotta dream big.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I'm a small town girl from, like, Springfield, Illinois. Like, 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Never had a passport until I was 22 years old. Like,
That's amazing, and all the things that you're doing now, it's,
Yeah, but, like, who would have thought?
You thought?
I did. A little bit. Not even to this caliber.
But going to, like, you just pretty much doing it all, right? So let's talk about KNC School of Beauty. So you launched the KNC School of Beauty in response to the Black Lives Matter movement, like as a way to
George Floyd murder. Yes,
it's a murder. As a way to empower women of color in business, right? So what have you learned about what aspiring entrepreneurs really need?
They need resources and they need guidance, and sometimes I get a little frustrated with the younger generation because they're so. It's interesting because, like, I was born in 86, right? So, like, in the 90s, we had internet, but it was literally like you come home from school, you start up the modem.
That, like, dial-up AOL.
Go make a sandwich, come back, it's still not ready, reboot, go to the bathroom, come back, and then you're there. And it was really just, like, AOL. Like, you know, there wasn't really a lot. So we kind of had to figure it out on our own. Like, really, I would say, like, the mid... like 2010s and on is when the internet really started popping off. You know, before that, of course it was there, but there wasn't a lot you could do with it in my mind. So I get a little frustrated with this younger generation because I'm like, they want everything explained down to a T. And I'm like, y'all, it is right there in front of you. I'm like, y'all don't have any, like, even with my son, he's 15. I'm like, how would you ever survive without your phone? Like, you don't have any survival skills, bro. Like, you know? So the one thing that I would love for the younger generation to understand is that, like, nothing is going to be handed to you. You can have all of the tools. You can have step by step. It's like what they say, like, I can give you the recipe, but the sauce isn't going to taste the same,
I like that
right?
expression.
So you can have all of these things, but you still are going to have to figure it out on your own. No one is going to hold your hand through this process. So, like, I remember, like, when we would be going through the School of Beauty, there would just be so many, like, questions of like, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm like, y'all, Google is free. You know, like, you're wasting, like, I had a lawyer on once, like a copyright lawyer. I'm like, y'all are wasting her time.
Like, ask
right
better
now.
questions.
Like, you know, like, this is all available to you on the web. So that's the only thing. I feel like the younger generation is very blessed that they have all of these resources, but
it's a double-edged sword.
it's a for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's the only thing is like, I want them to understand you can have everything in front of you, but you have to make the meal yourself. You can have all of the ingredients in front of you, but you have to make the meal yourself, and you might mess up.
And you have to. That's
right.
so
and you might
important
add
to
too
the
much
process.
salt the first time, or you might, you know what I mean? So, like, you've just got to go with it. And I think a lot of, I noticed this with my son, like, they are embarrassed or afraid of failure. And I've said, every successful person that you know has failed publicly at least 10 times, you know? So that's something that, and that's something that I struggle with too, you know? Like, I had a fine jewelry brand before that I had to close that I really liked, but I had to close it because it just wasn't making sense. And it wasn't embarrassing, but it was embarrassing to me.
Yeah.
But it also prepared me for, like, my work with KNC Beauty, you know? So everything's a lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's a lesson. Everything's a lesson.
So that's what I wish.
You gotta
that they
fall.
knew.
You have to. You have
But
to.
the important thing is getting back up.
So, in what ways have your collaborations with brands like Revlon and Revolve evolved? It's like a little play on words. Your mission for the KNC school, and what's next for that initiative for you?
I mean, those partnerships were amazing. I think that, you know, it's interesting because it's like at all these big brands, it's all about who you know and who you have a relationship with. So, Revlon was like my start to the KNC School of Beauty. I was already working with them, and then we moved on to Revolve, which was great. I really want to I want to find like the perfect sponsor for KNC School of Beauty and take it IRL, because I feel like,
because it's online right now,
right?
Okay,
and we started during COVID, so it kind of had to be online. And now I would just love to bring it to fruition in real life. I'd love to like support the community in Chicago. So if there's anyone in Chicago, like Google or Ulta, that wants to, you know, contribute to the KNC School of Beauty, but that's my vision. I haven't done one in over a year because I'm just like still looking for the right partner. But yeah, I mean, we had such a great response to it. The issue is that a lot of these companies made a lot of promises during Black Lives Matter and diversity initiatives, and now they're reeling it back because they're like, oh, it's quiet about that now, so we can silently end these partnerships, or we can, you know. So the problem is finding these big companies that want to, that want to invest in this, knowing that they're probably not going to get like a huge return or a bunch of sales, but they're going to like, it's hard. Like, they don't care.
It's like
they don't care.
They don't see the worth.
They don't see the worth. Yeah. But it's not just with, you know, diversity. It's with everything. It's all about the bottom line for a lot of these companies. So, you know, that's why
especially the environment that we're in now.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
and so
topic.
it's hard to find like a good partner in that sense. But I know that I will. And I know that, like, for me, you know, helping young women achieve their goals and their dreams is like such an amazing feeling for me. It's just about finding the right person.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. And it'll come.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah.
For sure. Because you're doing something incredible. So when you're doing something incredible, it's going to happen.
Thank you.
You know? And even going back to what we touched on about George Floyd's murder, 2020, people responding to that in a positive way, even though it's unfortunate that someone had to be murdered for the world to kind of wake up.
Yeah.
But it feels like it was for like a hot minute because now it's 2025 and things are being reeled back in a bit. So from your vantage point, because of that, do you feel the beauty and fashion industries have actually evolved, or do you feel like we're seeing like that return to the status quo?
Absolutely not. It was all performative. I remember I was in, I'm not going to say any names, but I was in like the biggest beauty brand, multi-brand store in the world. And it was funny.
I feel like that's so obvious what it is.
I'm not trying to get sued, okay?
We're not going to say anything.
We're not going to say anything.
But the viewers know.
But if you could put together the pieces, I was in there, and it was funny because I'd been in there for like over a year. And I remember I was so excited to be in the store. It was like bucket list. Like, this is like, if you're a founder of a beauty brand, this is your dream store. Finally got in it. They didn't promote any of my products. So mind you, like, imagine you're a small brand. They take you in. They don't even put you in the what's new carousel. So like on their website, like on the homepage, they'll have a what's new carousel of like new products coming in. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't give me, any, not even a story on Instagram, nothing.
Wow. So what was the point? What did you get out of it?
I mean, I guess just saying I was there. But like, they're used to these brands with like millions of dollars of marketing. So it's all like a pay to play thing, right? Like, and I just, I was honest. I was like, I don't have $100,000 to like for you to promote my brand that you decided to pick up. You reached out to me, you know? But then Black Lives Matter comes around, and guess who they want to start promoting?
Come knocking.
Because I was only one of 5 Black-owned brands, and the other 4 were celebrity-owned brands, So it's like, no, I'm sorry. The other 3 were celebrity-owned brands. So it was like...
I feel like it's so obvious what we're talking about.
So they want to start... I'm not even... Like, I pulled my... I couldn't deal with them. So then they want to be like, oh, we're gonna do 2 Instagram posts for you. We're going to do this for you. We're going to give you this. I'm like, y'all still owe me like an invoice from 6 months ago that I've been trying to get paid. So can we get this paid first, and then we'll talk, and then then you can use me for like whatever,
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was so performative. I did it.
You're like, at least I can say I did it. I was a part of it.
I did it because I was like, okay,
cross it off the list.
This is what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, I did it, but then it was just like, after a year, it was a one-off thing. Like, oh, this is trending right now, so we're gonna promote our Black-owned businesses, and then it was just like really no follow-up, and it was just like. I ended up pulling my product from the store because it was just like I had a really bad taste in my mouth from that experience. And I was like, it's not even worth me saying I'm at this store because I have other amazing stores like Violet Grey and Net-a-Porter. And, I pulled it, and then I haven't spoken of this since. But
you made no friends?
No, I made none. I made a lot of enemies probably, but... And which I would not recommend, but it was just so
You're
like
don't make enemies, don't make that a common practice.
Don't make enemies. But it was also like, are y'all for real?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be for real. But they were dead ass. We're in New York, so we can say dead ass.
Yeah. Word.
But no, and it's and that's what a lot of these brands. It's kind of like it died down. We're gonna quietly go back to how it's always been, and hopefully no one notices, and a lot of people haven't noticed.
And now, again, because of the environment, people and brands feel empowered to do that now.
Do they?
I feel like some do, like where it's like, this is what it is.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do?
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think consumers are a lot smarter than what these like big brands give them credit for.
That I totally agree with, for sure. I feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they always get like a lot of flack from people, but it's a generation that actually truly cares about where their products are coming from.
Yeah.
Because even from a sustainability standpoint, from the brand values, it's no longer, does this red lipstick just pay off? But it's like, what's in it? It's like slowly killing me.
The CEO vote for?
Yeah,
like,
who,
you know,
what company is it from?
They're really on it, and I do admire and respect that about them, because there have been times where, like, I'm a millennial, right, and we're just like, oh, we just love this fragrance or this color or whatever, like, we don't care.
I don't care, it just works, it smells great, it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, I had just like, I had got my daughter some stuff from Target, and I'd posted on TikTok, and, like, the comments went in on
Target's
me. Target's
in hot water, too.
I was like, I was like, oh, I was like,
Target's not it for the black community.
No. Clearly, I was getting dragged, and I was like, oh shit, like, 'cause I had read something where they rolled back their DI initiative, and then they like reinstated something. So I was like, oh, okay, we're good.
Because they were feeling it.
They were feeling it.
Because for some reason, I love that our community came together, and they were like, we are no longer shopping here.
But this is the problem. I have a few founder friends that are carried there. Shantae from Black Girl Sunscreen, like Rosen Skincare, the Lip Bar, Melissa from the Lip Bar. They're feeling it. So I do still shop at Target, but for my Black-owned brands there, because we're also punishing them in a way, you know? So I think that's something to be cognizant about. Like,
that is a very fair point.
Yeah, like, yes, we can stop shopping there for the majority of our things, but if you do need something, go get a Black-owned brand from Target. Just to, like, show your support in that way. But
so we're saying, if you do have to go to Target,
make sure it's Black-owned.
Make sure you shop Black-owned.
Yeah. There's a lot of founders that are really struggling with that boycott, I will say. Yeah.
So, again, another
and
double-edged sword.
It's not easy to be in a big box store like that. It's actually, like, extremely difficult. You know, like, I've had, like, big box stores approach me. I know that I'm not ready for that, so I'm like,
is it like just keeping up with the inventory, the demand?
Well, there's inventory, and it's also competing with these other brands that have tens of millions of dollars in advertising and budgets, and, like, you know, those end caps that you see. So, like, for example, if I were to go into Target and I were to go into 600 stores, they would want 600 customized end caps.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how expensive that is? Plus the returns. So, like, Target pretty much, or like an Ulta or whatever, Sephora, whatever, they pretty much take back anything. So, like, a customer can, like, use a lip mask. They can use, like, 4 out of 5 and bring it back.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that return. So they're called chargebacks. The chargebacks are, like, they can put you out of business, you know? So it's
didn't
just...
even think about that, because those returns, there's the products you use, there's nothing you can
really
do
can't
with it.
do anything with those.
It.
Yeah. So it's very hard, even though it seems prestigious and it seems like, oh, you're just rolling in the money, like, it's difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that.
That's a whole other side.
That's a whole other tangent.
Yeah.
But we've actually come to our last question.
Oh my gosh.
The time's been flowing.
I've been
so
having
fun.
a key, girl.
So, again, like, thank you for being here and just sharing who you are and your story. So, what do you ultimately hope people remember most about the world that you've built, whether it's KNC Beauty, your school, or the space space and presence you've just created online?
When people, oh my gosh, that's a little morbid, but I want them
We can end on a morbid note.
I guess that makes sense. I guess I just want people to think of my brand as something impactful. You know, I want them, when they think of me or my brand, to, like, have a smile on their face. You know, I think there's so many, like, devastating things in this world right now, and just, like, in general, and I want to uplift people. I want to, like, there's so many young women that have been like, oh, I won your grant for the KNC School of Beauty, and that helped me start my Pilates business, or, like, my, you know, like, lip gloss business. Like, even if I can change one person's story, that's enough for me. It's never been about, like, the recognition, or, like, you know, like, that question is a little difficult for me, because I don't think about what I want people to think of me. I want to do what I feel is good in my heart and like what makes my soul happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that there's going to be people that don't like me and there's going to be people that love me, you know, but that's not my problem. I just want to
Yeah, for
do
sure.
what makes me feel good. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here and doing this,
course.
and welcome to the Mind Candy Beauty family
Thank you for
officially.
having me. This is
Yeah.
amazing.